Hello, welcome to Dos Güeras of Mexico. This is a podcast with me, Tatiana, and
Me, Abby.
and we're two foreigners in Mexico.
We are.
We're two English teachers teaching English as a second language. And yeah, we're going to talk about our experiences here. And if there's anything that you guys want to hear about, you can leave it in the comments. And so yeah, welcome to our first episode.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you. So tell me, Abby, tell me about yourself, where you're from.
I am from England, in Manchester. Best place ever. And I've been here. How long? You know how long I've been here. A lot better than I do. 4 months?
5 months.
5
We're in
months?
June.
Yes, we are. 5 months. Wow. Yeah, I've been here for 5 months. I've been out of England for, let's say, 9 months.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've been moving around for so long. So, yeah, I've found somewhere to stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's England like? Well, what's Manchester like?
Manchester, I love Manchester. Manchester's one of the best places ever. If we had the sun, maybe I would still be there. Maybe.
The sun.
Yeah. But I don't know, I've been there forever. So I wanted to try somewhere new. And here I am.
Is it a big difference? I can imagine.
Yes. Yeah, it is. In Manchester, one of my favourite things about it is we have so many people from everywhere, all over the world. So it doesn't feel, I don't know, I feel like I've always been exposed to cultures that are different to my own. But yeah, being here is different, but I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Me too, actually.
And what about Norway?
Well, Norway is also very different. From
I've never been to
Mexico.
Norway.
You haven't?
No, we have to go.
I've been to England, but I've not been to Manchester. But it's on my list as well.
Yeah.
Places to go. So Norway is a beautiful, beautiful country, but we do lack sun. We do lack.
Yeah, I'm complaining about no sun to someone from Norway. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, because Norway is worse than
Yeah,
in
far
that
worse.
department because we're so north. A lot of people here aren't aware of this, but during winter we barely have any daylight. In the north of Norway, there is no daylight during sometime in December, but on the other hand, we also have midnight sun in the north of Norway in summer.
There's no, it's just daylight the whole time.
Yeah. So in Oslo, where I'm from Oslo, we're a bit more south. We do get the sun does set and then it kind of rises. Like it goes about to the right horizon and then it just rises up again.
I'd be so confused.
You don't
It doesn't
sleep.
take a lot, but I'd be so confused.
I'm gonna tell you
all the
one
time.
thing. Summertime, you're up all night. You lose track of time.
Yeah.
And wintertime, you just want to sleep,
Uh-huh.
more or less. So,
But it's not pitch black the whole time. It's still a difference in light now, in the day and the night.
I mean, in the city, we have streetlights.
Yeah. You have streetlights
We
in
have
Norway?
streetlights.
Wow.
Like real
You have
light in
running
the
water
street.
and Wi-Fi as well.
No, so we can't see.
Wow.
But I don't know, if you go to the mountains, it has to be different. I don't think they have streetlights in the mountains.
Yeah, I don't think I could cope with that.
But Norway is a beautiful country. We have beautiful nature. And I do have to say, at this point of the year, now that we're in June, I do miss the feeling of summer finally arriving.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one day of 20 degrees and sun and 3 days of rain, we really, really value that.
Yeah, England goes crazy in the sun.
So, of course, coming to Mexico, we have the sun all the time.
Have you found many Norwegians in Mexico?
Not a single one. No,
No.
not a single one.
No.
Have you found any British people, any English people?
Actually, last weekend I found a group of English people.
Oh, really?
It was crazy. They were all part of a football team, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't realize, because I've been away for a while, I didn't realize that it feels different talking to people from home. And it was like a big deep breath. Like, it was nice. Yeah, it was, you know, all the stupid words that I might use that they just completely understood straight away. I like when I'm saying words and people say, what does that mean? And then I have to try and work out how to explain it. But it was nice just to speak so naturally.
Yeah.
Because I've not seen them again. I don't plan on it. But it was nice to have that 5 minutes where I could just completely relax, you know?
Yeah. Because there are some challenges of being here in Mexico, teaching English.
Yeah.
You're a native speaker.
Yeah.
And of course, we're closer to America. So you have a lot of words. And also, let's not forget about your accent.
Yeah.
Has there been any challenges as a English teacher so far?
To be honest, mainly with the other Americans that I've met.
Oh, really?
only in that they're finding me quite difficult to understand.
Yeah.
I think in England we watch so much American telly.
Yeah.
TV. If
TV,
you're American.
as we would say.
That for me, nothing feels too strange, too new. But the American people are finding me quite difficult to understand. And most of my students are more used to an American accent or American words.
Yes.
But I like giving them both of the words and telling them, this is the one you should use.
I have to say, I do, when I'm teaching pronunciation, and we're doing an American pronunciation where some T's were pronounced more as D's. Water. I will say, well, Miss O'Brien would say, water.
Water. That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, my British accent isn't too bad. I make fun of yours a lot.
Yeah, we could switch accents maybe sometimes. Try it.
Yeah, we could try that.
Yeah.
But definitely, so have you gotten any feedback from your students that...
I know why you're saying this.
I know there's one student recently.
You really want me to bring this up?
To just say that.
Yeah.
Miss, it's hard to understand.
He said that your accent is much easier to understand than my accent.
And I did tell a student.
I like to think I'm providing more of a challenge. There you go.
Exactly what I was about to say. I had one student switch over to your class, and I did say it's the perfect opportunity to get to know, to even further your English levels. And it's just like me learning Spanish or another language, like there's always going to be different accents and different pronunciations. And here in Mexico, we're mainly teaching an American pronunciation, an American vocabulary.
I think with English and American as well, especially English, you can live 30 minutes away from someone and speak completely differently to them. So it's, when you're learning English, going to be really important to be able to work around the accents, and because it's a language that people use all over the world.
That's true.
So you're going to have to get used to people with different accents.
And there's a lot of accent because we speak English all over the world.
Yeah.
You have a British accent, and then like a ton of accents within England. And then you have all the American accents within America and all their states. And then you have all the accents that come along with people speaking English as a second language.
Yeah.
So it's only
so
good.
we're helping your students
with the diversity that we provide as English teachers.
I was very offended. Yeah, he had his exam this morning. I thought that would be reflected in his exam. No, I'm joking.
Yes. No, we're very fair when it follow the book and do everything correctly.
Yeah, but I was explaining to him, because he was stressed, and he just needs to get used to my accent.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And even just the way everybody speaks in their own way, we have to get used to that, I think.
Exactly. There's no perfect accent. There's no...
apart from mine, of course.
Yes. Okay.
What about teaching English as someone who's had to learn it in your second language?
It's true. A lot of people actually ask me, so in Norway they speak English, and I have to say,
Really?
no, actually we speak Norwegian.
Yeah.
And we just learn English.
Uh-huh.
And so I learned English in school. And from first grade, we have English as a part of
And
like
do,
our
do
classes.
most people speak English quite well?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think definitely from my generation at least, and actually up until my grandparents even speak English pretty
Okay.
well. Yes, so we learn it from first grade. A big difference in Norway and in other countries like Mexico is that we don't have everything dubbed. We watch TV and movies in English with Norwegian subtitles.
Okay.
We do dub children's movies
Yeah.
as such, but at a certain age,
Yeah.
there's no more dubbing, and you just have to be able to read,
Yeah.
and then you learn English as well. So it was a very inductive way of learning English. Like, of course, we learned it in school, in Norwegian, but we were exposed to it all
And
the
you
time.
need it all around you, don't you,
Yes.
in order to really...
And I also come from a home with two parents from different countries. My father is Greek, my mom is Norwegian, and they spoke English at home.
Really?
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Does your dad speak Norwegian?
He does, yes, but it was my parents met in Greece at 18, 19, and they didn't know each other's languages, so the only way they could speak.
He learn Norwegian for her?
Yes.
Oh, does she speak Greek?
Yes.
Oh, how romantic.
So in my household, there's 3 languages. They knew each other in English, and then they learned each other's languages. My dad told me it took him 3 months to master Norwegian.
That's impressive. Okay.
He learned it. Now he's been there 20 years.
Yeah.
And 20 something years. And my mom did Greek, like took classes to learn Greek. But they used to speak English at home as their secret language until we understood them.
Romantic.
Right? Meaning more like, you need to take out the trash. And every fight they had was
argument language. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good idea.
It's great to have a secret language. Everything you can talk about. And that's actually, I think, normal in Norway to use English as like the secret language until your kids learn it.
You can be horrible about people to their faces. That's why you should learn a language.
That's why it's a good idea to learn languages.
Do you think they had to... because I feel when people are speaking a different language, especially when they're learning it, you're kind of a different person. Kind of.
Yes.
I wonder if they had to sort of meet each other again when they were both speaking their native language, you know?
Definitely. You can only imagine all of the communication that happens. I know that my mom had to explain a lot of like things that my dad could say, being like, he means it this.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not being rude.
But that's how he can express himself. And so they have to have a lot of patience and understanding for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
No, but I think that exposure for me, English came very natural.
And your brothers and sisters speak English also.
Yes. And then keep in mind, we also speak Greek. However, Greek I didn't master as well as English because I didn't have yet.
Not yet.
There is never too late to learn languages because I just didn't have the exposure like with English. And then in later life, I learned Spanish, which I'm now using every day in Mexico. And I use this a lot as an English teacher because I know the experience of learning a language.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's a lot of frustration in the part where you're starting to understand, but you're not comfortable speaking, or you just can't do it yet. It's like being a child, like being a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
before
you have so much to say and you can't get it out yet.
Exactly, and this is why with the personality, like I'm super outgoing in my language and in English.
And would you say you're the same person in Norwegian and English, or is that different? Do I even know you?
Oh my gosh, because I think my English personality is a bit more outgoing.
Really?
Because I used this while traveling. I had to speak with people a lot. I've used it in my jobs. I worked as a waitress for years with tourists, so I was speaking English. I had to be very outgoing. I used it as an au pair, like every time meeting new people with different cultures, using English. So it's like my brave personality.
Yeah, your alter ego.
Yes. And then that like bleeds into Spanish. Like I have to be brave to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And it feels super satisfying now that I'm at a point where I'm more fluent. And more comfortable.
So maybe that's a good, if your thing is that you want to become more brave, more outgoing, learn a new language.
Yes. And it's such a great opportunity. And especially like it's stepping out of your comfort zone. And every time you step out of your comfort zone, you widen it.
Yeah.
You get comfortable out there.
Yeah.
And that's what learning languages is all about. And that's what I like about our courses and our classes, because like they get to practice in a safe environment and then use it outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it. I've never thought about that, about how you a different person when you're speaking a different language.
Of course, because I'm more shy.
Yeah.
Like you can't participate in group settings as like here in Mexico. My first few months, I just couldn't participate like I can a bit more now, but not like when we were in teacher course, like in the teacher course, and I could speak English and everyone understood me. It was a relief.
Yeah.
Like I was so much more outgoing.
Easy. Yeah.
And a lot more funny.
Are you more funny in English?
Yes.
Really?
And it's called funnier as we're speaking.
So good point.
A lot more funny though. A lot funnier.
A lot funnier, yes.
Funnier in the languages.
I was just copying you then, so.
I was just testing you. That's my teacher trick.
Yeah, you have to listen for the mistakes.
And then at the point, like the part of also speaking is to forget about the grammar at some point. Just get it out and the grammar will follow. I really had to
as long as you're understood.
Yes, that's the most important part. Stop being embarrassed about your accent. And I'm talking to myself.
I like an accent.
Yes.
Yeah, it adds a bit more
character
to a language. Yeah.
Spice.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it too. I think it's cool. And it also shows that, hey, I'm out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I'm speaking a second language.
Yeah.
Every time I'm struggling with finding a word or whatever, I'll be like, hey, I speak like 4 languages.
Yeah, give me a break.
I'm excused.
Yeah, I don't have that excuse, but I can try it.
You only speak 1 language.
I know how.
How is it going being in Mexico?
I'm learning. I am learning. I'm the same. If I am in a group where everybody is speaking Spanish, which of course is all the time, I'm in Mexico. I feel so shy. Yes. And I don't know why, because in English I'm not scared of saying things wrong. I say things wrong all the time. I say stupid things all the time. If I'm speaking in another language, I'm terrified to say things wrong. And it's ridiculous because I say things wrong in English. And yeah, so I'm at the point where I'm getting over that bit.
Yes.
But yeah, it has made things interesting.
Yes. But you're determined to learn Spanish.
Yeah, I will.
How are you going to do that? Tell us about your process.
God.
You're a teacher, so you can see like both sides, right?
Yeah, definitely. I can see, I find that I'm giving loads of tips and advice to people on how to learn English. And then I just need to follow it myself, really. I think the best thing to do is not just to, if you have your lessons, not just to leave it there. You know, I need to be watching things in Spanish. I need to be talking to people in Spanish whenever I can, which I often don't.
Yes.
Because I have the luxury of, most people speak my language. And it's usually not my language, the language I speak. I invented English.
Abby's language,
Yes. Yeah, most of the time people speak English, and instead of waiting for me to take half an hour to finish a sentence in Spanish, it's easier just to let somebody say it in English. And so I need to be more forceful with it, and I need to say, no, let me try.
This is one thing that I will say about practicing a second language. One thing that I always do, if I'm in Norway and I hear someone speaking Norwegian, trying to speak the language, of course I could switch over to English.
Yeah.
I speak fluent English, but no, I will support them because I know what it's like to build up all of that courage to say, una cerveza.
Yeah.
Just like order that thing in Spanish and they're like, oh, you want a beer?
Yeah. I tried so hard.
So no, I will always support a language learner when I hear them trying to speak, even if it's English, Spanish. It doesn't really happen that much with Spanish, but Norwegian, I will be supportive. I will speak clearly, and because that's often a thing when you're
100%. And you're nervous as well.
Yes.
So
be patient.
Yeah.
And it pays off. That practice is valuable. So absolutely, don't leave it in class. Bring it outside.
Everywhere. And
challenge yourself. Immerse yourself.
Great.
The best thing I did, I think, here in Mexico was to surround myself with people who don't speak English.
Yeah.
I don't have a choice. I want to communicate. I have to. I have to, and it helped me so much.
Yeah.
And watch it. I used to be very against dubbed movies. As someone who speaks English, I want to watch it in the original language.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I do watch things now dubbed in Spanish.
And it helps?
It does help.
Okay.
It does help a lot. Music.
Music, I think, is good because you can... it sticks in my brain easier, and you can find nice ways of saying things. You can speak like a musician, you know, that in songs we hear lots of nice phrases all the time that you wouldn't necessarily learn and that people wouldn't normally say, and that can be part of your alter ego when you speak in a different language.
Being poetic, using the poetry.
I would like to be a poetic Spanish speaker.
Oh, and of course, listening to podcasts.
Of course, yeah.
I think that's a great way to also hear and get used to different ways of like informal speaking.
Natural.
Because what happens in a natural conversation is people talk over each other.
Yes.
They also speak faster and slower and like it's a whole different thing to like also get things in context.
Yeah.
So not just watching movies, but also listening to real things.
Take everything that you can.
And step out of that comfort zone.
Be brave. Be bold.
For everyone learning English, but also everyone learning any language.
Yeah. I'm on the journey too.
Yes.
It's hard work, but
it is. But it's
so cool to be able to speak another language.
It's super cool.
Yeah, it is. I'm obsessed with it.
I have to say, like in Norway, in Oslo, where I'm from, just like you said in Manchester, it's filled with people from everywhere. Like most people I know already speak 2 or 3 languages.
Yeah.
Everyone already speaks Norwegian and English, and a lot of people have parents from different countries.
Yeah.
So it's
you have to get 4.
Yeah. You have to at least.
Is it
5
4 you speak 4?
Norwegian, English, Spanish, Greek.
That's embarrassing. Only 4.
I'm not very, very good in Greek.
What's number 5?
Number 5 would be German.
Okay.
Because you might remember I worked in Germany as an au pair.
Yes.
I taught English to kids.
Was that teaching in... That's not in a school setting, right? That's in the house.
That's in the house setting. That's in the fully like using the way that their brains are developing right now is like they're soaking everything up. And it was super cool because I was working with 2-year-olds. I worked with 2-year-olds, 5, 7, 11, like different ages actually. And when they're that young, they're already learning to speak. Yeah. So immersing them with other languages is
they just pick it up.
They pick it up so fast. And they understood that they had to speak English with me because I didn't speak German. And I learned German from them because everything that they said that they could say in German, I would pick up on and then repeat in English.
I feel it's nice. I've been thinking this as I've been thinking about my Spanish journey. Learning from kids, you might not get the best language, but learning from kids maybe feels less intimidating because there's going to be less judgment from them. They're learning at the same time. And I don't know, I don't think I'd be so nervous to speak.
And kids are so
silly.
silly.
I think it's a good method. I don't know.
I mean, I almost forgot. Like, I teach kids here in Mexico
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I teach in the kindergarten, and of course my Spanish is improving from that because I need to understand them.
Yeah,
and it's hard.
Yeah, definitely.
And then with the understanding that I have, I repeat everything in English until like it makes sense for them.
Yeah.
But it's a different thing learning as a kid, like, and as an adult. As an adult, there's a different approach. Because it's more uncomfortable.
Yeah, you've got more inhibitions.
But you can go about it in a way more clear, structured way, like we do in our courses, understanding the grammar.
Yeah, because you're not going to teach a child how to use future conditional. Yeah, so it's going to be completely different.
Present
when you
perfect.
were doing au pairing,
Yes.
was this just teaching by talking?
Yes, I didn't have classes.
This is possible too, to learn just by talking, just by being.
Exactly. Like, for example, Spanish, I had classes learning Spanish. For me, as being 19 when I started, having that basis of knowing this is the rule, this is what I can lean back on.
Yeah.
There's a right and a wrong, that helped me build my confidence.
Especially when you're an adult and it's a bit more daunting, you need that.
Daunting, exactly.
Daunting. It is
scary.
Daunting. Yeah. I need some lessons.
Yes. No, I really think it helps. But as a child, like even this Mexican children that I'm working with now, I heard them say "no sabo," and that's like a very common thing. Like "no sé" is the correct grammatical way of saying it. And it's like a lot of jokes about pronouncing it like that or saying it wrong. And I just found it adorable. And I was like, they don't even speak perfect, so they don't expect it from me.
No.
And it's okay, because that's how we learn, through hearing, speaking, reading and writing.
Yeah, all of it.
The combination.
Everything.
Yes. But definitely, I think the process is listening first, a big amount, then speaking. And
giving yourself some time.
Yeah.
And not, because it's frustrating.
Yes.
Being able to. I had a teacher once who compared your brain to a hamster.
Oh.
And she said, you have to look after your hamster. Yeah, he's running, he's working really, really hard. Just let him relax.
Yeah.
Give him his food, give him his water. Be kind to him. If he gets something wrong, would you shout at a hamster? No. And I liked it. It kind of stuck with me. I'm looking after my hamster. Yes. I'm being kind to my hamster.
That's very good.
Yeah, and if I make a mistake or if I'm finding something really difficult, you can't shout at a hamster. You can't get angry at a hamster.
It's just a little hamster.
Just a little hamster trying his best.
Oh, I think that's a great perspective.
Yeah.
And definitely important in language learning, because to be patient with yourself, to be kind to yourself.
Exactly.
Because the process, like, it's a process regardless. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn.
There you go.
Because I have one friend who said that once he pronounced avocado, and he never forgot it because he was so embarrassed. And I'm like, and what? Did you stop saying avocado, or did you learn how to pronounce it?
Exactly. Well, even with English words, if it's a word that I don't use very often in my life, and I've only ever seen it written down, sometimes I'll say it and it's completely wrong, and then I get a complex. I'm worried to say that word forever, and I just completely avoid it.
You have to try.
Yeah, exactly.
And like a lot of times, I don't know, not everyone will correct you either. They will just let you say.
True.
I don't know, there's a famous one with chameleon, all these words beginning with CH, character, chameleon, not knowing that it's not pronounced character and chameleon.
Where I'm from in Manchester begins with CH, Chorlton. And we have an airport close by, so when anybody arrives into Manchester, they usually come through Chorlton, and hearing everybody try and pronounce it, everybody...
Chorlton?
Yeah. I think it's a difficult word because you're seeing it written on signs and things, and everybody's always looking at it. seeing. I enjoy listening to the things they make up. Yeah, but it's always, you can always understand what somebody's saying, and there you go. That's
the most important part. Is to understand, to communicate, and from there it's just gonna get better. I think so. Yeah. Okay. So
tips on speaking like a native.
Speaking like a native. I have to say, I've gotten a lot of comments on my accent. Can you tell where I'm from based on my accent?
When I first met you, I think I thought you were American.
A lot of people think, and I'm not saying like I have an American perfect accent. No. It sometimes things slip around and pronunciation is hard sometimes, but I do get a lot of compliments on my accent, not being like you can't tell that it's Norwegian.
No, I wouldn't know you were Norwegian. No way.
So I think that really like listening and repeating for pronunciation.
Yeah.
And one thing that I like that we teach in our courses, even though sometimes the pronunciation is difficult to grasp. We do teach like where the pressure goes.
Yeah.
And I really emphasize that. And I'm just like, it's complicated. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
How would you say?
It's complicated.
Complicated. So that's one thing.
English is maybe a bit flatter. I don't know.
No, I think you do add pressure. Complicated. Yes, you do. And so that's one thing, like, awareness is key. Yeah. So becoming aware of how things are pronounced and differently and practicing that.
Especially how things are pronounced in your native language might make you say particular words in English.
Yes. There's one sound that I notice I like teaching Mexicans right now. It's that the J sound.
Yeah.
My job.
Yeah.
When it's job.
But with English, we're aggressive about the J sound. Yeah. My job.
Yeah. The letter
in
J
general
is pronounced differently, like they have the Yeah. So that's something to realize, that even if it's written one way, to look at pronunciation apart from that. Like if you imagine that there's a D in front of that J. Job, yeah. It's like a aggressive DJ. Job.
I think a big thing that I've noticed, not even just in Mexico, everywhere when people are trying to learn English or learning English, is ED endings. This is a big one.
I'm on it. Yes, we're talking past tense. Talked, danced.
Yeah, and to be honest, the way we say everything's spelt the same, but we have different it's really unfair that we do that. I don't know why we've done it.
English.
We're just making it complicated for no reason.
Yes, but English writing and reading, like...
Yeah, it's a big one, I think.
Yes.
And if you master that, you sound like a native, I think.
I think so too, like to be aware that it's not talked yesterday, walked, it's walked. Talked.
Yeah.
And I have a good rule, or I'm trying to implement this in all of my classes.
I love it. Tell me.
It's Ted is dead. And Ted is dead is to have a rule where which words do I pronounce the TED ending? Interested. Ted you pronounce. You don't say interested.
Yeah.
Or dead. So divided. You don't just say divide. Divided.
Yeah.
You pronounce that E. And if it's not Ted or dead, you pronounce it simply as without that E that is there, simply as a D or even a T sound can work. So it's not talked, it's talked, because there's no Ted or no dead. Interested, motivated, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And this rule as well, because it's my native language. I do it naturally without knowing why I'm doing it. And this was the most comprehensive rule I could find, because when I was trying to explain it on my own, I was like, I don't know why I say this word and this word completely differently.
Exactly.
But yeah, Ted is dead.
Ted is dead. Pronounce Ted and dead, and you're good. Everything else, you forget about that E. It's just there for writing purposes, because you can't put two consonants after each other. You can't put...
I see. There you go. This is
how I learned it in Norway.
Yeah.
And then, so implementing that, I think, is a great one. And Also, noticing the difference in pronouncing like soft T's, matter, not matcha.
Yeah.
Like you, it depends on the
Matter.
accent. Matter.
Yeah. Matter. Thank you very much.
Yes. We'll agree to disagree on that word, but the pronunciation.
Yeah. And also, I think it's kind of fun. Sometimes with my students, I'll say, what accent would you like to have? And we'll give you that one. It's the same thing. It's making a whole new persona for yourself when you're speaking a new language. You can choose. It's fun.
In Norway, we could choose because there's English spelling and there's American spelling for certain word. Like the word color, you spell it with a U there.
Yeah.
And I also no, American.
She is American.
She's not.
You've been lying the whole time. You don't speak all these languages.
Because in American writing, you write it without that U. It's color straight like it is. Mm-hmm. And in Norway, you have to pick one. If you pick American writing and pronunciation, you need to stick to that in your entire paper. You can't be switching between right.
But you can choose.
You can choose. Like
I would have assumed it would be all England English, British English.
In Germany, they learn British English. In Spain, they learn British English. But in Norway, because we're so influenced by both sides, I don't know why actually.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And do they teach you different accents, or that's up to you?
That was all up to me.
Yeah.
I had English teachers with a very harsh Norwegian accent.
Yeah.
So much that it frustrated me, and then I was like, no, I'll do better.
Yeah, and I think of people who are teaching English as it's their second language, like you, for example, amazing teachers. But sometimes for example, if I'm listening to somebody speaking Spanish, I find it easier when it's an English person speaking Spanish to understand them.
Sometimes that accent helps. It does.
So if you want to sound like a native, I think you need to listen to natives or people who sound like natives.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Listen and notice. Be aware of those little pronunciations.
Yeah.
Where the emphasis, the stress of the word goes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's a process.
100%.
Yes, exposure.
Yes, definitely.
So thank you so much for listening to and watching our podcast, Los Güeras of Mexico.
Yeah.
This was our first episode, and yes, like we said, please leave some comments if there are any topics you want us to touch upon.
Any questions? Any tips?
We'd love to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much, and goodbye.
Bye.